This is Teachers Talk Radio, and you are listening live.
Welcome, this is Teachers Talk Radio, and I am Aramide Oluwa.
This is Teachers Talk Radio, and you are listening live. Tune in live at ttradio.org, or to join in the conversation, download the Podbean app and search Teachers Talk Radio. Follow the hashtag TTRadio. Tune in, talk it out with Teachers Talk Radio.
Hi secondary school teachers, we're Apps for Good, and we give schools like yours free introductory computing courses. Our courses are for everyone, including those who aren't computing teachers, and they're fully equipped with resources mapped to the UK computing curriculums. Independent learning is central to our courses. Your students will develop essential and digital skills by working in teams to create prototype apps. We'll even connect you with industry volunteers to give real-world feedback. Let's empower every young person you teach to shape their future with technology. Speak to us at www.appsforgood.org.
Did you know that every year, half of disadvantaged children who are top attainers at primary school don't go on to achieve top GCSE maths results? At Axiom Maths, we exist to change that. Our fully funded programme helps schools nurture young mathematicians through weekly face-to-face maths circles, where pupils tackle challenging and exciting problems outside the national curriculum. With just under £3,000 annual funding, expert training and quality resources, we give schools everything they need to inspire the next generation of mathematical thinkers. Want to make a difference? Visit axiommaths.com today and join over 400 schools delivering math circles across the UK.
Meet 2025 BET Award winner Kialo EDU, the 100% free tool for thoughtful, inclusive classroom discussion. On Kialo, students contribute instantly and simultaneously to create an interactive map of a discussion, deepening their subject knowledge and enhancing their critical thinking skills. Set tasks, track participation, and provide personalized feedback in just a few clicks. And since it's compatible with all your favorite LMS platforms, it slots seamlessly into your existing workflow. Over 1 million educators and students are already using Kialo to make the world a more thoughtful place. Join them today at kialo-edu.com.
This show is brought to you in partnership with John Catt Educational, publishers of professional development books and resources that support great teaching and learning in schools around the world. Don't miss out! Level up your professional development today and visit johncattbookshop.com to explore the full range of titles. Use the code JCTTR2425 for 20% off your order. Happy reading!
This is Teachers Talk Radio, and this is Teachers Talk Radio News.
According to a story on the BBC News website, more than 1/3 of secondary teachers have reported misogyny from pupils at their school in the last week. The BBC asked 6,000 secondary teachers about their experiences via the survey tool TeacherTap. About 40% of the teachers who responded also said they felt ill-equipped to handle this type of conduct. The government says it has published guidance for teachers on dealing with extreme ideologies and will protect children online. Teachers and parents are reported as saying they are increasingly worried about the misogynistic and violent content that children, especially boys, are being exposed to online. The survey results show that 39% of secondary teachers said they are aware of at least one incident of misogyny from a pupil in the last week. 1 in 10 said they were aware of more than one event, and 61% said they felt misogyny had increased since they started teaching. The report also focuses on research by UCL, which found teenage girls in England are significantly less likely to feel safe in school than their male peers since the pandemic. Further details and a case study from a school in Dudley can be found on the BBC News website. The BBC also reports that a former Dundee University principal has been named as the chairman of a new task force set up to help the struggling institution. Sir Alan Langlands will chair the new University of Dundee Strategic Advisory Task Force. The university faces cutting its workforce by 700 as it attempts to tackle a £35 million deficit. The Scottish Funding Council recently approved a £22 million support package for the university. An investigation has been launched into the reasons for the institution's deteriorating finances and how this came to be a surprise to the university's leadership. Unions have welcomed the announcement. Schools Week says a surge in schools making cuts shows they are rapidly heading towards the brink, and that this is threatening the government's promise to break down barriers to opportunity. A survey by the Sutton Trust says more schools are cutting teaching and support staff at this time more than any time since 2020. Nearly one half of secondary school leaders said they are using pupil premium cash to plug gaps, the highest since the annual poll began in 2017. Schools Week revealed last month the funding issues schools face, including unfunded pay rises, increases to national insurance and other rising costs. The Sutton Trust said the findings, reported in detail in the article online, show Labour risks failing one of its own 5 missions, to break down barriers to opportunity for every child. Another key Labour pledge was to update the national curriculum, but 1/3 of secondary school leaders said they will reduce the choices they offer at GCSE because of funding constraints. The Sutton Trust is now calling for a new national strategy to close the attainment gap, including restoring the pupil premium to its full value, as it says this has fallen by 20% in real terms since 2014 to 15. A Department for Education spokesperson said, "The government has protected key education priorities through our plan for change." Finally, a team of 7 primary school pupils is hoping for success in the USA after qualifying for a World Robotics Tournament. Hartlepool Mail Online said the team from one of the town's primaries had been competing at regional and national levels since November and had made it through to the competition's final held next month in Dallas, Texas. The competition requires teams to design and build a robot able to hold and carry a ball, then score a goal as quickly as possible in 60 seconds. The primary is one of 3 schools representing the UK in the tournament. The team and local community have so far raised £12,500 of its £20,000 target needed to travel for the competition, and once in a lifetime opportunity. This has been Teachers Talk Radio News with Joe Fox.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned. This is Teachers Talk Radio. You're welcome to another segment on Teachers Talk Radio. Like I announced earlier, my guest today is Lydia Moore, or Lydia Omoh, like I would normally call her. She is a graduate of chemistry from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta in Nigeria. She's currently an educator and also a millionaire. She has had the opportunity to train and teach young minds over the past 8 years. Currently, she holds the position of the children coordinator in her church. Her hobbies are singing, reading, and surfing. So you're welcome, Lydia Omoh. You're welcome to today's show. I hope you can hear me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah. Thank you so much for coming
Can
on the
you hear
show
me
with
too?
us. Yes, I can hear
Thank
you.
you. It's a
Yes.
pleasure to be here. Thank you, Aramide.
Yes. So how is your baby boy doing?
Yes, he's doing. He's fine.
Okay. Okay, so let's get right into it. Today we'll be speaking about how you became a mom from being a teacher, from teacher to mother, the perspective, the trauma, the strategies you've been using, and the consistency that you've been able to build over the years. So let's start with why teaching for you? Because I can see you're a graduate of chemistry, and then you have become an educator. So why chemistry? Oh, sorry, why teaching? What's your why in teaching?
Okay, why? Okay, that's a very good question. All right, good evening, everybody, once again, wherever you are hearing me all over the world. All
Mm-hmm.
right, the question why teaching? Initially, let me say that I do not want to be a teacher. Of course, every graduate in Nigeria, let me say about 70% do not want to be a teacher. But I think it has just been in the line. I have had the opportunity to be a Sunday school teacher right from my teenage age. Please, are you with me?
Yes, very well. I can hear
Hello?
you.
Okay, so I've had the opportunity to
Yes.
teach young minds as a Sunday school teacher in church. So I think I can say that that's when teaching started for me. But as a graduate, I didn't want to be a teacher actually. But along the line, I dabbled into teaching. Initially, it's something I wanted to do for a while. Yes, probably for a space of few months or so, not for years. But along the line, it caught my interest. Yes, let me use that word. And teaching for me is not just about um impacting others. For me as well, it's about impacting myself, getting to add more values and knowledge. So along the line, I found it more interesting than I thought it could be. So I decided to give it a shot, and here we are today. So that's the why. I hope I've answered your question.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, yes, you did. Awesome. So, how has it been for you, combining motherhood and teaching? Saying that this is your first. You became a mother last year, and although I know you've been like a mother figure to many students for years because you've been teaching for close to a decade. So, how has it been now that you're really a mother? How has it been combining motherhood and teaching? Is it something that it's just almost the same thing, or is there a different perspective to it? Would you mind sharing?
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Combining motherhood and teaching. It's a two different word. I would say, experiences are different, but to me, I think it demanding. It's a whole lot. Yeah, you have to be ready, and sometimes you don't get to be ready until you get there. I can say that. I think I personally I wasn't ready for some things until I got there and I started seeing something. Of course, I was able to cope, and motherhood is a state of being a mother. Yes, so it's like you have your own now, not just like you're trying to carry other children along. So when you are teaching other children, you know that it stop at a particular time or at a particular phase. Everybody get to go to their houses and all of that. But the stage of motherhood, that's you. Like it gets to run along with you from morning, afternoon, even at night. So it's something that does not stop. So, and teaching on the other hand is just for a while, like a particular timeline in a school, probably couple of 7 to 8 hours, you're back home, impacting and transmitting knowledge. So combining both has not been easy. When I started, for me, it was draining mentally, even physically. I had a lot of fatigue, my health. I had some it was not all that palatable, but kudos to me. Yeah, I would use that word. Thank God. Let me use the word thank God. And also kudos to me. I was able to pick up. And thank God for the help of my husband. It's good when you have people that can help you around. It makes it a lot easier. Yeah, let me use that word. And when you do not have help, it looks like your world is crumbling. You understand? Because it's a phase that you're just starting. You don't even know what it is like. uh, you know, Combining a baby and you working, getting up to meet up with the timeline in school, deadlines of things and all of that. And on the other hand, your baby also need your attention. Even you yourself, you need attention, your husband and the rest. People are looking up to you and saying, okay, so we need this from you and all of that. So I can say that it's draining. Yeah, it's draining, and you have to think for two or more now. You're not just thinking about yourself. Sometimes I remember I'll just sit down, draft out today. So what am I doing? How do I do it? And the rest of it. But I think one thing that has helped me is I just decided to put up this ready made mind. Yes, let me use that word. Like, I need to be ready at all the time. So personally, let me just chip in this before I would stop here. I usually love to have a personal thing, like individual, stay alone, be quiet, and all of that. Marriage changed that for me initially. Then when I gave birth to my son as well, there are moments at night we don't get to sleep, and you're like, really, am I going to work the next day? You understand? And I don't know, but it's a whole lot. But it's something you just have to be ready for. And once you set up your mind, the thing is, you just have to put your mind to it. If your mind is there, then I tell you, there is nothing you can do. So you push through and we keep doing it. So here we are today. It's been a whole lot, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I'm happy
that's
to hear
my
that.
view.
I can see even from your philosophy about life, you said life is like a coin. Whichever side
Mhm.
that gets to that you see, or you that comes to you, just take it, because nothing is impossible. So I'm sure there must have been times when you feel like giving up on your job, profession, and maybe just do something, or just be a stay-at-home mom. Were there ever times when you felt that way?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there have been a couple of times I felt that way, being a stay at home mom, of course. I think it's good if you are a stay at home mom. Yeah, I myself, I'm looking up to the opportunity for a kind of job that would, that will help me work remotely from home. Sure, you understand. It might be easier that way, instead of having to juggle, moving from one place to another. Then you have a baby to care for and all of that. So I think it's not a bad idea. Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm thankful that you're truthful and you're blunt. You saying that you're
Yes,
looking forward to a time when you can have a
actually,
job that would give you room,
I'm
to actually look
telling
after
you.
your child and also do something productive. Yes, that's great. And so I want to ask, all this while, you've been you've been someone that your students can walk up to, they can rub minds with you. And even before I get there, can I ask you that, was there any teacher that was there for you in your, maybe your secondary school days or primary school days? Was there ever a teacher that was like a mother figure to you in school, where you can walk up to if you have challenges and all that?
Mm, yeah, actually, I can say that in my secondary school, yes, primary school now, you really don't know who you are, self. You are just trying to get up. But I
Right,
think primary
right,
school, I have this personal interest for a particular teacher. And then she was always sending me on an errand, like, oh, Lydia, go get this on my table. When teachers have personal interest in you. So
right.
I think I kind of reciprocate too. But I'm not sure I shared anything that bothered me with her. That was in primary school. Then in secondary school, yes, I was close to one of our teacher. Then she left the school. She came for just for a while. I think aside that, I'm not sure I was all that close to any teacher, having to probably disclose
Okay,
personal information about myself to them. Yes.
okay, right, right, right. So yeah, I'm sure for you and your students, it might have been the reverse. Do you have students that see you as a mother figure in their lives? Maybe students that don't really have a proper home, or students that come to you to say, "Oh, teacher, this is what I'm going through," and all that. And if you have students like that that come to you, now that you have your own child, is there going to be any shift? Like, oh, I have my own child to cater for now. You guys should not bring your problem to me. Is there going to be any change? And let us know.
Okay, I won't say, of course, motherhood is not just about the child you give birth to only. No, that's not what it is. So it's about a general impact. So if all you can impact, or the only set of people you can actually cater for is your household, then I'm not sure that you've gone a long way. No, you have to extend the arm of love to others as well. So I think consistently for the past 8 years, I've been an elementary school teacher, basically primary school. And in primary school, um students face some kind of issues, yes, but of course they do not know what it is exactly because it's just coming their way. It's quite different from secondary school whereby they can actually express their minds and their thoughts. So when you are teaching a primary, I've had cases, yes, of students. Sometimes you have to talk them out. Are you okay? I perceive you're not listening in class today. You're moody. I was teaching mathematics and then you are giving me another answers and the rest of it. Then they would tell you, I think I had an instance in my class then where I was talking to a girl and the girl told me, my mom actually slapped my dad this morning. And before you know, she started crying. I was like, what happened? So in the class, we're having a discussion. Or I don't know. There's this particular topic. I had to just, silent the girl and say, okay, we'll talk about it. So I took her out. Even the whole class was surprised at what was going on. But I knew that this is more than classroom. The girl is feeling a lot of pain. But she's still young. I think she was in primary four, thereabouts. She couldn't express so much. I don't know if you understand. But the little I could, I talked to her, I actually talked her out. Then I remember I notified the head too, so they could be carried along. So if it's something they can invite the parents and all of that. So that's in primary school. Then I can say that also I've been privileged to talk to teenage minds. Yes, I've had teenagers around me, not just beyond school setting now. Are you with me, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm with you. Sure.
Okay. Okay, so beyond school setting. So I've had teenagers in the area, in church, we get to rub minds together and they tell me stuff and I'm like, oh really? So sometimes I share my own personal experiences with them and like, okay, so see what it is like. And it's sweeter when you actually apply the right path. Let me use that word. It's something they don't want to make mistake. And sometimes when you make mistake and you're able to correct yourself, yes, not like you didn't fall totally. So sometimes I tell them, see what you can do, see where you're supposed to go and what you are supposed to do at that particular time. And in fact, I can't begin to tell you some things personally that I have had. I think God personally gave me that grace that people kind of tell me some stuff that I don't believe they can even tell me. Aside teenagers, even adults, I've gotten to know a lot of things that if I should open this my mouth and say it, in fact, it's going to cause a lot of chaos. But I feel that God has entrusted some of these things in
Mhm.
my hand to be able to handle it. Yes, let me use that word. And sometimes if I can't handle it, I seek advice. Yes. So I talk to those people then as well. And I also learn from it. So I won't say that it will change anything about being a mother now. Of course, I still give attentions to people, yes. So the thing is, when I come home, my home is my home. So when I go out to work, my work is my work. So I kind of balance it. So I really don't like, meddling things together. I do it where I am and I finish it. We'll move on to the next phase. So it might not really affect it because I'm not living for only my children. Of course, I would love to live for others too who would want to benefit. So that is what it is.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Lydia. Thank you. So, I also want us to talk about something. Um, yeah, I know,
Okay.
yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, but the line is breaking a bit.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, please. Can you hear me too?
Okay. It's probably the okay. Yes, yes, I can. So I was saying, I love what you said about if you're a, if you're a woman or if you're a mother and you only cater to your family alone, then you're not going to go far, which is actually so accurate. I want to use this medium to thank those that are joining us live. I have Gabriel Christian, I have Adeniro Joe, I have Timmy. Thank you. Have any question you want us to talk about, anything relating to the topic, which is from being a teacher to becoming a mother, how teaching has helped women to become real mothers. So I'm still talking with Lydia, and I want to ask, I've worked in a school whereby the head teacher rather, was saying something like, oh, you can't bring your problems. Can you hear me, Lydia? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you, please.
Okay, so I was saying, some schools will tell you you can't bring your home issues, your family issues, you can't bring it to work, but you're allowed to take your unmarked script, your note of lessons that you have to complete. You're allowed to take it home. So is that the treatment you get in your current organization, or are they flexible? Can you talk to them when you have maybe issues? Maybe you have to step in for your husband, or just do something because of a family and you can't make it to work. Is this something you are allowed permitted to do
Okay.
in your current organization?
I think to answer that question, every school with their policies. Yes, I've also worked in such organizations where I don't want to use the word you can't bring in your problem. It's just that you can't be given permission for anything. You are choked. You just have to work and work and work until you are worked out, and you can take the school work home as well.
So that's permitted, right? That's permitted.
Okay, no, but in my present place of work is not like that. I think they are quite flexible. In fact, I can say that over the years of teaching, I can say this is a better place for me to be as a mother because okay, so let me give you I'll
Really?
give you two.
Good for you.
Yes, yes. Yeah, actually. So let me give you two instances. And I'll tell you, I just want to, give examples on why I think it's a better place to work. Every organization, so they have their own, and we shouldn't take them for granted sometimes. So when I would get this job around August last year, I went for the interview and I was called up on, it was a panel. And immediately I actually entered. I went with my baby, actually. I didn't know where to drop him then. So I was told to drop him in the
Right.
school crèche. Yeah. So I dropped him
Okay.
there, and he wasn't familiar with their faces. Initially, he didn't cry. So I went for the interview, still within the confine of the building. So the other side, I was there. So immediately I entered, they asked the first question, second question. And before you know it, the HR started calling me and said, my baby is crying. I said, I was even still telling her that it's not my baby because usually he doesn't cry like that. So I was wondering what could happen, you understand? So along the line, they had to bring him because he wasn't cooperating with any one of them again. So they brought him into the interview room and I was like, wow. So I was like, so the HR was like, okay, so you know what? We are just going to stop here and you can take your leave. I was like, ma'am, we are not through with the interview. I can just pacify him and we'll continue. She said, no, no, don't worry. It's fine. It's okay. We'll get back to you. We've gotten what we needed. I felt like, oh God. I just told my baby, you know what? I'm not sure you want us to work for now. You understand? And it,
Okay.
it was not on funny though, but I was like, oh God, because it was like the first question, the second question, and here we are. We have a lot of things to still do. I was like, okay, it's fine. When I was coming, I called my husband and I was like, maybe I will have to look up to somewhere else. It doesn't look like I'll be called because we didn't get to finish it and all of that. So those are one of the challenges. I wasn't expecting their call. First week, I didn't even, I'd given up on it. Second week, the woman messaged me and said, you're still on my mind, I'll give you a call soon during the week. And, to God, she called me, God being faithful, she called me and she was like, can you come to the school and come and do the necessary documentation? I was like, okay. I was happy, you understand, because I don't know, I didn't even get to say anything, let me use that word,
Right.
but
Right.
maybe as she has said, yes, she said they've gotten what they needed. So from there I could deduce that, oh, okay. And the second aspect of it was when I started the work. Yes, when I started the work, my baby I was on exclusive for him initially. So I started the work around 5 months from.
Lydia, can we hold on that? Let's just quickly listen to news from our sponsors, and I wanted to just hold on a bit to that second one. I'm eager to hear it, but let's just
Okay.
quickly go on a short break. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, secondary school teachers. We're Apps for Good, and we give schools like yours free introductory computing courses. Our courses are for everyone, including those who aren't computing teachers, and they're fully equipped with resources mapped to the UK computing curriculums. Independent learning is central to our courses. Your students will develop essential and digital skills by working in teams to create prototype apps. We'll even connect you with industry volunteers to give real-world feedback. Let's empower every young person you teach to shape their future with technology. Speak to us at www.appsforgood.org.
Did you know that every year, half of disadvantaged children who are top attainers at primary school don't go on to achieve top GCSE maths results? At Axiom Maths, we exist to change that. Our fully funded programme helps schools nurture young mathematicians through weekly face-to-face maths circles, where pupils tackle challenging and exciting problems outside the national curriculum. With just under £3,000 annual funding, expert training and quality resources, we give schools everything they need to inspire the next generation of mathematical thinkers. Want to make a difference? Visit axiommaths.com today and join over 400 schools delivering math circles across the UK.
Meet 2025 BET Award winner Kialo EDU, the 100% free tool for thoughtful, inclusive classroom discussion. On Kialo, students contribute instantly and simultaneously to create an interactive map of a discussion, deepening their subject knowledge and enhancing their critical thinking skills. Set tasks, track participation, and provide personalized feedback in just a few clicks. And since it's compatible with all your favorite LMS platforms, it slots seamlessly into your existing workflow. Over 1 million educators and students are already using Kialo to make the world a more thoughtful place. Join them today at kialo-edu.com.
This show is brought to you in partnership with John Catt Educational, publishers of professional development books and resources that support great teaching and learning in schools around the world. Don't miss out. Level up your professional development today and visit johncattbookshop.com to explore the full range of titles. Use the code JCTTR2425 for 20% off your order. Happy reading.
Yay! Thank you for staying tuned. This is still Teachers Talk Radio, and this is the Sunday Twilight show with Aramide. I'm still on with Lydia Omoh, and we've been talking on this interesting, having this interesting discussion on how more teachers that became mothers, how they've been able to cope. And Lydia has been sharing an interesting story. So Lydia, we're welcome back, and to all our listeners, welcome back as well. And to those that have joined the live show, you can send in your text. I will get to read them. Send in your contributions, your comments, your questions, and all that. So yeah, Lydia, welcome back. You were sharing your story. So would you mind moving to the
Yeah,
second
thank you,
part of it?
Aramide.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. Thank you.
Ah, all right. Okay, so briefly, so my son was he was 5 months plus, yes, when I got the job. So and he's been on exclusive, that's breastfeeding like that. I didn't know how to tell them. So when I got the job, I knew that of course it's not possible for us to do that again. And he is a boy that has not I've not introduced him to any meal or any other supplements. Yes. So a week before I actually resume, I to get some other supplements, start introducing him to. Thank God he took them. Yes. So when I got to the school, I spoke with the HR, you know, I made my intentions known to her if I can be allowed to go breastfeed him during break time, and when I'm not doing anything, probably it's close of the day when pupils are going on before teachers will start leaving. The way she responded, she sounded very polite and accommodating. I was very surprised. So I go to the crèche every break time. During those periods, someone will have to stand in for me. Probably I do not have an assistant teacher, but they have assistant teachers there. So probably one of the assistant teacher will have to stand in for me, or my partner. Yes, because the class has different arms, will stand in for me. So I will go for a while, then come back within 30 minutes. I'm done and all of that. So to me, when I started, I was like, really, I just had to make the suggestion. I was expecting a no for an answer, which is of course common to the Nigerian school, you understand, and so that is what it is. So I can say that in their way, of course, they are trying. Yes, they are really trying. So that is it.
That is so awesome. It's let me say for you it's a privilege because I've heard of cases whereby nursing mothers are not even they can't even smell, you know, they can't even think of doing exclusive, but here you are, you were able to do it. So good for you, Lydia. Good for you, and kudos to your head of school, your organization. They are doing a wonderful job in supporting mothers who are
Yes.
teachers as well. So that's so nice of them. So I also want us to talk about how you've been able to meet deadlines, note of
Yes.
lessons. I'm sure exam just finished, right? You guys just had exam week. So how was it, nursing a child, having your own personal well, I still coming to your own personal well-being though. We still have to talk about how you've been able to stay aloof, stay afloat of all this um, you know all this workload, yeah, so that you to avoid burnout. So how have you been meeting deadlines? Has it been feasible? How has it been?
Yes, of course. It's been realistic for me. It's been visible. Yes, and I could say even before, I gave birth and before I got married, usually I'm a kind of teacher that I do not like it when a goal is being set ahead and you're supposed to meet up with a deadline and then I start saying stories and all of that. So I don't like to find myself in such, areas or something. So I do my work. So this is it personally for me. And one thing is I don't like taking school work home. Yes, I believe school is school, home is home before I got married. So when I got married and I gave birth, it was quite challenging. Yeah, let me use that word. Quite challenging. But what I do is I do my thing uh, you know, so fast now. Yes, unlike before, I take my time. But now I set a particular time, target. This is what you are doing, and you are going to get to do it. Then, just like I said earlier, too, it's good to marry someone who, marry a partner that understands you and that can help you. So, my husband has been very supportive. Yes, he has been very so. Sometimes when I get to him and I tell him,
Kudos to
today
Mr.
has been
Moore.
stressful for me. Yeah, thank you. So when I tell him today has been very stressful, I don't even have time to do this. Sometimes he would even tell me that, okay, you know what, can you send me some of those things you want? So I'm saying it here. It might not sound professional actually, but he has been a teacher before. Of course, you know that. So he would just tell me, send me some of those
Right.
things and the
Mm-hmm.
instructions, everything you want to do. I can help you. So sometimes I'll send it to him. He will do it in his own space, then send it back to me, with all of that. So we've been moving. We've been moving. But most times I do not take schoolwork home. But if it demands me to bring it home, then of course I will have to bring it home, probably to meet up with the deadline. So it is what it
Right.
is. But we've
Right.
been
It is what it
coping. God
is.
has been
It is
helping.
what it is. It is what it is, right? So yeah, you've shared one of your strategies. So do you have other strategies? I know, for example, waking up time. Before you had your child, maybe you were waking up, you
Ah,
get up 6 a.m. in
I'm
the morning, but now I'm
telling
sure
you.
all that might have changed. So do you mind sharing some of the strategies you've
Ah,
adopted for your new routine? Yeah, the ones that worked, the ones that
yeah.
didn't work. Because I know very soon, even people listening to us or people that would take up this, this episode later on to listen to it, it might be very, very helpful, to them. So do you mind sharing some of the strategies that you've adopted?
Yeah, of course. I think I had to change my routine. Yeah, totally. So it was like changing my entire life. Personally, I love to sleep. Yeah. It's just that if sleeping can be
You
an
loved your
hobby, I
good
think
sleep.
I would have telling you, but now you see all those things. My sister, it has changed. Yeah. So I don't wake up when I was a single in my single days, yes. I wake up sometimes 6:30 because my school was very close to the house then. It's just like taking a bike then. But now it's quite close though, but not all that close. Yeah. So but I have to prepare, wake up very early as 5:30. It was tedious for me. It affected my health, yeah, to an extent. I was having couple of malarias and because I've not been waking up at that time before. Yes. So I love to have my morning to myself most of the time. So some persons say you can be lazy. I don't want to use the word laziness, but personally, I love it when I sleep late and, maybe wake up late. I don't like when I have to wake up very early again and it's looking like what's going on. But all those things have changed. You have to wake up. You're not just preparing for yourself. So if it's just me, I just have to dash into the bathroom and, do all of those things and rush out. But now you have a baby. And when you, in fact, having to bathe a baby, it's not like you just pour water on his head. I sure you understand. So you have to take your time.
Right, I get
Sometimes
it.
I'm
Right,
ready.
right. Yes.
Yeah. So
Sometimes
sometimes
like
I'm
fight, you
ready.
have
The baby
to
is not even
hold them
ready.
still, let them stay
Mhm.
still.
Thank you. So you've packaged everything. You guys are ready. You're about stepping out, and you just pull or just mess up everywhere. Just vomit his food, and you're like, what's going on? But you can't. You'll be talking to the baby like, can you be nice? Like you understand, but there is nothing you will do. You just have to figure out something and clean up, then go. Sure, you understand. So it was quite challenging for me
Oh
waking
God.
up, then planning ahead.
Oh
Planning
God.
ahead. I have to plan ahead. Yes. So every night I pack. Before I didn't know, in the morning I will do the packing, packing, packing. So I was once suggested, okay, so why not pack a day before everything you need, the major thing, put them in the bag so that because most time we end up forgetting. Today we might forget that, but tomorrow we'll forget food, and it's getting to me like what's going on. So I had to pack those things the night before, and it worked for me. Yes, when I adopted that plan, it worked for me, and also I prepare ahead of time. So when I got to the work, I think we started going with my husband at some point. Yes. So I adopted that. So when you are leaving, we'll leave. But when I saw that his pace was it's like it's higher than our own, we had to, you know, slow down a little bit and all of that. So what didn't work for me was that you can't just say you want to do it now. Now. No. You have to plan. Let me use that word. So before I can do my thing now. No, 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 I'm done with it. But it won't work out that way. So what you didn't even plan we come up and you like, so how do I figure this thing out? Sure, you understand. So, but majorly changing, you have to changing your time, your sleeping will change, planning ahead before time and all of those things. It worked for me, yes, and it's still working for me. Thank you.
Right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm learning a whole lot because I know I'm gonna get there eventually. So I'm learning
Yeah.
personally. I'm learning. Yeah. So I also want us to talk about, you know, before you became a mother, would you say teaching helped to prepare you mentally? The teaching in any way, the teaching prepare you for this mothering role? Did it prepare you? Did it prepare your mind? In terms of patience, being patient with children. Did it prepare your mind? In paying attention to details. In terms of emotional intelligence. Would you say teaching was a very very useful tool in preparing you for this stage?
Yes, of course. Yes, it actually for me, I think teaching helped me to an extent. So even I believe that even if I was or I'm not a teacher, of course I would have been able to pick up some things. But being a teacher actually helped me a whole lot. So I think I learned patience to the core now. Let me use that word. Sometimes children can be very dramatic and they are more dramatic when they are now your own, like coming from your own bowel. The ball game is different.
Right,
You understand?
right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the ball game is different. Sometimes babies, especially when you don't even know what they want. Let me use that. You don't know why they are crying. You've given all that you think you can, and sometimes you even tell the baby, "Please, can I be crying with you?" Because at this point of mine, I don't even know what to do again.
Wow, that's
So
that's hilarious.
you get to see it. You get to see it, like I don't know. You've exhausted everything you can, and it teaches me a lot of patience. Yeah. So sometimes I just have to, normal me now. Sometimes I like gra gra. But I told myself it's not gonna work. Yeah. if you really want to bring out something good from here. So I have to, learn. Let me use that word. I learn. But, for learning from distance is quite different. Learning from a close range. You understand? So when I mean learning from distance, it mean learning from other children. The children you are taking in classes and all of that. Of course, you
Right.
get to see something, their behavior, their character, but they don't get to follow you home. So every other thing their parent deal with it. But your own child or your children at home, you get to face them again when you get home. So teaching has, helped me to be able to handle them, to handle him emotionally, yes. And sometimes I tell myself I'm supposed to be annoyed with you right now, frustrated, but I chose not to be frustrated. Like, let's be fine. You understand? So it's actually helped. It built my patience. Yeah, it does, and I'm learning every day. I think I'm more calmer. Before I take
Hmm.
things like once they come out, like, I want to take it back. But I get to know that
Hmm.
it might not work. No, some of it
Hmm.
actually need it that way, but I think in most cases it's not necessary. So you have to take it a step at a time. You have to learn. You have to say, okay, so what is it exactly? So you understand. So
Awesome.
learning from the angle of the baby,
Shout out to your baby
yeah,
that has
baby,
taught you
that's
patience. Shout
what
out.
I'm still learning, oh please. I'm still learning.
Right.
Every
Right.
every
Thank
child is
you.
unique in its own path. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing your strategies and all that. So one thing I wanted to talk about before leaving that part is consistency is key in all that you've mentioned, right? Because you
Yeah,
can't do this today and then give
yeah.
up tomorrow and say, oh, you want to change another, you want to use another approach tomorrow. You have to be consistent with the plan
No.
that you have, right?
Yes.
Okay, so another thing I want us to talk about so that anyone listening or anyone that is going to listen later can learn from this. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to teaching, combining mothering and your role as a mother and as a teacher? What is your biggest challenge? For me, I think for me, let me just speak, though I'm not a mother yet, but at least I know I've worked with children too. So I would say the biggest challenge
Oh,
that I can think of right now is um how to be empathetic, if there's a word like that. I don't want to say sympathetic, but how to have
yes,
compassion.
there's a word like compassion.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So how to actually show compassion for, like you gave an example of your child crying and you don't even know what he actually wants. Sometimes you see students, okay, for example, in my current place of work, a student came up to me and was sharing a very very personal issue with me. And she even told me, oh, she couldn't even tell her mom at home because telling her mom would make her mom spark. Her mom could get angry, and then even the matter would not be solved. And what the girl was sharing with me was a very, very delicate issue that a mother should hear and then get to it right
Mm,
away. But I
mm.
offered to speak with her mom, but the girl was like, oh no, even if I tell her mom will get angry that she told me first before telling her. So how do we now solve this issue? So for me, I think the biggest challenge is parents, mothers actually, even we've heard of cases of women that are not even there for their own children, but here you are, sharing the opposite, the other side of the coin. Some mothers are not even there emotionally for their children. I think that's a big, very, very big challenge, and I wouldn't blame some of them. It's because some of them don't have this good background growing up. So over to you, Lydia. What is your own biggest challenge in all of this?
Oh, okay. So, I have challenges, of course, but I think the biggest of it all is how to balance it. Let me use that word. Yes. Um, you know, I've not still been able to balance it up till now. Let me use that word. Sometimes it's still going up and down, and sometimes when I get home, I sit with my child as well, as little as he is, and I have to ask him, so how are you today? I know he's not listening, like he's listening, but he can't communicate back to me. So, how has been your day? What happened? Did you cry? And sometimes myself, I get
Yeah,
worn
he
out.
can't respond
Yes.
yet. Mm-hmm.
And no, when I mean I get worn out mentally, myself, I'm not I'm not really fine. Let me use that word. Yes. So I've not been able to balance. So balancing is a major issue for me now. Yes. So I think that's my biggest challenge, combining motherhood and so not like on a scale of 1 to 10, let me say, of course, 6. I think I've been able to balance it by 6 to 7. Then the remaining one, I'm still trying to pick it. So there are still some loopholes that I'm still trying to fix that. So how do I balance this? That when I get to work, it is work and it is done. So when I get to my house, I'm personally not ignoring myself. I remember when I started first. So it is just any clothes that I see that I wear. When I mean any clothes, does not mean that I look shabby or I look anyhow. But it's just that
Right.
today, let's just wear what we have. You understand? So
I
nobody's
know. I
looking
get.
like,
I
oh,
know that
I'm buying
feeling.
blue and
I know
red.
that feeling.
Thank you. So the only thing I just want to watch out is as long as my baby is fine. So what's he wearing? What's he eating? So I have a lot of him more than me. So I get to neglect myself along the line. So I think it is now that I start picking up. Yes, let me for the past, I think more than 6 months plus now. So I there was a day I like, "Ah, what's going on with you, Lydia? You are just there. Like I don't dress anyhow. I don't dress shabby, but I know that that's not me. Like me, my real self. You know, when sometimes I want to make my hair, but I just feel sitting down to make hair for 3 hours is not going to work for me. Sure, you understand? Let's just do
Oh
this
God.
normal koroba and pull wig. You understand? So I and you just have to focus. Your husband too needs your attention. So balancing is a major issue for me. When I get to school as well, everybody say, "Welcome, teacher, welcome, auntie, how are you?" You know what my mommy said? And you so, "Oh God, today again, are we having this conversation?" I was like, okay, okay. So where are we? Where did we stop? So you are trying to see children that are weak, like trying to come up academically, those that are there, you're trying to maintain it. So balancing is such an issue for me. Yeah. So, but I think I'm getting it. Yeah, and I'm sure by God's grace I will get it, and I'm learning. It's a
Amen.
learning course for me.
Amen.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is
Yeah.
my
We
biggest
wish you
challenge.
the best. We wish you the best, Lydia. This journey is not for the weak.
Thank you.
But yeah, you'll be
It's
fine.
not though.
So in terms of personal well-being, how do you work out? Do you do exercises? Do you take a walk or a stroll around? Or is it music that does it for you? Is it prayer? Is it your faith? Is it just a talk with yourself that does it for you, that makes you, get back into your good space again?
Okay, personal well-being. I think having my moments, I kind of get it back. So when I say having my moments, like staying alone for a while, being alone, and there's no way you want to be alone as a mom. Yes. But in fact, sometimes my husband will just tell me, you know what, Lydia, maybe you should just go and relax. Just give him to me, I'll take care of him. And I'm usually those are one of my exciting moments. I like, oh, thank God.
Like you're always looking
So
forward
if
to
it's it
hearing
for a
to,
couple
to
of two,
hearing
three
that.
hours, I'm telling you. I was just like, okay. So I'll just sometimes I'll still hear his cry, but I was like, he will be fine. So because mommy too is trying to be fine.
Oh
So I'll
God.
just be there. Sometimes I'll sleep, wake up, sit down, think about the week or how the day has been. You understand? Then try to figure out what I didn't do well, what I'm doing better, yes, and how I can be more, like better on it. You understand? So those are one of those things that sometimes listening to message works for me and music. I love to listen to music very well, but I think I'm having issues with what's it called hairpiece these days though, so I can't really plug so many things in my hair. So but whenever I have opportunity to play stuffs, I feel excited, elated, and I get my moments back. So that is it. Okay, so one thing I wish people could understand more about teaching is that teaching is beyond, going inside a classroom and disseminating what it is you want to teach, or probably what a topic you have in mind. So teaching is beyond the textbook. Yes, teaching it deals with the mind. It's like connection. You have to connect with the children you are teaching. You understand? So beyond being their class teacher, you can also be a mother to them, a father to them, of course. they could share with you what is bothering them. And beyond the four walls of the classroom, you are molding life. So have it at the back of your mind that you are molding life, and whatever you impact has a lot to do now and even in the future. Sure, you understand. So as a teacher, we need to build ourselves, we need to learn, we need to unlearn, and we need to relearn. And we need to understand that teaching is beyond the classroom. We need to get close to the pupils we are teaching and connect with them, beyond academic. So that is it. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, everyone.
Hi secondary school teachers, we're Apps for Good, and we give schools like yours free introductory computing courses. Our courses are for everyone, including those who aren't computing teachers, and they're fully equipped with resources mapped to the UK computing curriculums. Independent learning is central to our courses. Your students will develop essential and digital skills by working in teams to create prototype apps. We'll even connect you with industry volunteers to give real-world feedback. Let's empower every young person you teach to shape their future with technology. Speak to us at www.appsforgood.org.
Did you know that every year, half of disadvantaged children who are top attainers at primary school don't go on to achieve top GCSE maths results? At Axiom Maths, we exist to change that. Our fully funded programme helps schools nurture young mathematicians through weekly face-to-face maths circles, where pupils tackle challenging and exciting problems outside the national curriculum. With just under £3,000 annual funding, expert training and quality resources, we give schools everything they need to inspire the next generation of mathematical thinkers. Want to make a difference? Visit axiommaths.com today and join over 400 schools delivering maths circles across the UK.
Meet 2025 BET Award winner Kialo EDU, the 100% free tool for thoughtful, inclusive classroom discussion. On Kialo, students contribute instantly and simultaneously to create an interactive map of a discussion, deepening their subject knowledge and enhancing their critical thinking skills. Set tasks, track participation, and provide personalized feedback in just a few clicks. And since it's compatible with all your favorite LMS platforms, it slots seamlessly into your existing workflow. Over 1 million educators and students are already using Kialo to make the world a more thoughtful place. Join them today at kialo-edu.com.
This show is brought to you in partnership with John Catt Educational, publishers of professional development books and resources that support great teaching and learning in schools around the world. Don't miss out. Level up your professional development today and visit johncattbookshop.com to explore the full range of titles. Use the code JCTTR2425 for 20% off your order. Happy reading.
You've been listening to Teachers Talk Radio. Tune in live and listen back at ttradio.org. We look forward to hearing from you next time on Teachers Talk Radio.